But important to note that we are still keeping the original plan for Sirios, and we will show it in the next few slides. So again, for those who don't know me, I'm the founder of the company. The company is 31 years old now. I'm a geological engineer, and we exploring since the beginning of the company. We're exploring EUEG James Bay for a decade, and we were successful in discovering the Cheechoo gold deposit. And I'm pleased to have now, as you know, as we indicated in the release this morning, I will shift from CEO of the company to executive chairman and head of exploration. And the new CEO will be Jean-Felix Lepage, and you can present yourself.
Sure. A little bit more about me. I mean, I'm a mining engineer by trade, but I always seen myself as a generalist in mining. So, from the technical aspect to more the finance and project developments, I really like to touch everything in the mining space. More recently, I mean, before starting OV, I was a vice president of project for O3 Mining until we sold the company last year. And my past experience also include 8 years. I mean, in the different role of operation at just the Eleanor mine, just beside the Cheechoo project. So really deep understanding of that area of the globe. So.
And it's important to note what we see on that slide. It's the new people that are joining us to make Sirius successful. So Sean Rosen, really well known worldwide for as a mine developer, a mine financier. So raising capital needed to develop an exploration and a deposit into a producing mine. So, and Laurence Farmer, which is a guy, a kind of a enabler to develop a corporate development agreement between company and also financial a strategic plan. So really bright person with a background in law and acquisition and merger and business in the mining business. So it's important to note that the force that are joining our team is really important, giving a very powerful skill for financing the company to fast track mining development at Cheechoo and other projects.
So here, I mean, it's a map we've been using at OV. I mean, we're working on the portfolio to create OV at first. We really seen that contact that you see on the map between the two sub-province. That really was our attraction, and the initial plan of OV was to reignite past properties from Virginia Gold Mines. So that's the Corvettes, the Plex, and the LeGrand. So. And looking the Sirios portfolio, I mean Cheechoo and the other are also on the same contact. So there's really like the same ideas and that are behind. I mean that the same kind of context. That contact, that's the one that delivered the Eleanor mine as well. So really set to have more discoveries along the years. Also, by combining the portfolio, we'll create really a pipeline that makes sense. So starting with Cheechoo as the flagship, as the main project of the company, and we'll bring two drill-ready project with Plex and Corvette with a lot of different targets we can play with. And some earlier stage and option properties from both companies. So we'll really create that pipeline at different stage. So I think it's a LT number of properties that we can manage and we can have optionality with keeping in mind that the flagship will be Cheechoo.
And if I may add, I mean, as you said, Jean-Felix, it's important to see the location of these property along the contact of the two sub-province. the Lagrange and Pinaca. But that contact is the main metallurgic to find and develop gold deposit in EUHE. So by gaining a full ownership and control on these properties, which is in fact the best gold exploration property, which was the main asset of Virginia Gold Mine in the past. So by gaining this, I can say that when we will close a transaction, Sirios will become the leader for gold exploration and mining development in EUHE. Talking about Cheechoo, as you may see on the left side of the slide, Cheechoo is next door from the Shareholder gold mine. So it's the mineralization outcrop at surface. It's open pitable. It's really easy to, it's open, or there's an excellent potential for resource expansion. We'll see in the following slide. And all the technical characteristics are really favorable for mining. Important to note that through all the years and the previous decade involved in the EUT James Bay, we developed a good and friendly relationship with the Cree Nation of Wominji, as well as we develop also good business relationship with the government, provincial government agencies, for example, the Société du Plan Nord. Being so close to that mine mean easy access to all the infrastructure, hydroelectricity, even the optic fiber is only 12 kilometers away from the deposit. And the discovery of Cheechoo. A few months ago, last July, we did release an upgrade of the resource, and it was significant improvement of increase of the tonnage and increase of the grade, and giving a total amount of gold resource of 3 million ounces at grade slightly over 1 gram per ton. Very favorable strip ratio. I think we'll talk about it later in the presentation. And Jean-Felix, if you may add some
Sure.
comments.
So I think I mean we did a lot of due diligence before accepting that transaction, and I think that we recognize for sure when you see a new resource, you look the ounces, you look the grade, and that was good work on that side. But I think all the work that has been done to do a new reinterpretation and the new modeling as well, I think that bring also a lot of confidence into that model. So I think I want to recognize the work that Dominique and the team did to bring that new resource to life, not only on the numbers, but also on the understanding of the deposit and what controls the grade and the geology.
So here we can see how the Cheechoo deposit stand in comparison to other gold deposit in Quebec province. You can see it fits really well in as a rank of a significant among the largest gold deposit of Quebec province. And don't forget that that deposit is not completely delineated, so it's still in progress to have its size being increased. So, and if you look to the left part of the slide, there's some name of a deposit in green. It's indicating deposit that has been subject to transaction or acquisition by a producer. So these are recent agreements that were done, and it's only to show that there's only few of them, few of good deposit, totally controlled or owned by a junior like us. So when Cheechoo ranks pretty well among all these.
So we talk about the size, and I want to talk more about the quality of the deposit. So we mentioned already the grade and the strip ratio, but how does that compare to recent mine plans? So when I talk mine plans, it's feasibility studies or reserve statement. And so we see that both this with a low strip ratio and a decent grade over 1 gram, there's not so many of those projects out there. So the characteristic of the open pit resource is a great combination. Uh, if you look, we can increase the size of the bubble, and I think that will be the next step. But even compared to one of my last endeavor, Marban, I mean, it's a better grade, better strip ratio, and it's more ounces. So I think the characteristics are really already great, but now it's a really great base to build on that and add ounces. So talking about adding ounces, so part of the resource update, there was a exploration target that was modeled. So what you see in red there, it's the model of the gold zones. So we see that just outside the pit. So the exploration targets are not new pits elsewhere on the properties. It's just beside the actual pit and ways to make it bigger. So it was modeled. So in part of that, there's target right outside, but also target inside the pit. So there's way to right size the next drilling campaign to bring ounces, not only ounces, but to keep and even improve the quality of the resource pit. So there's a table at the bottom. You can make the maths to calculate the ounces, but to do a quick calculation, 31 million tons at 1 gram, that's 1 million ounces. So so the target is really significant. So obviously we want to work around that to bring it to the next step. So here again, it's another slide about benchmark. So Cheechoo, I mean, at the size and quality that it is, would be decent enough to bring to a technical study. So if we were to do a technical study, that's the kind of benchmark I would use. So, but as I said, I think drilling the extension, drilling the exploration target is the more logic move to do before going to a PEA. But we're already talking at least using those kind of benchmark, and you can dig more of those projects to see the comparables. But that's really what we're aiming for. And now that with more drilling, we're aiming for larger than that.
On this side here, we see the median value of a value in US dollar of 1 ounce of gold in the ground and a different project in Quebec province by different companies. And you can see that Sirios is at the far left of this graphic and lowest value per ounce in the ground. However, this is important because only that picture gives you all the reason to justify the market to re-rate the market cap of Sirius. It need to re-rate the Cheechoo value. It need to re-rate the capability of the company, the strength of the team being involved, the new team being involved. So we have all the ingredients for a success, the technical specificities of the deposit is even better for than many other deposit, and that's why there's no reason why in a short-term period of time the market cap of the company will be re-evaluated and giving let's say more realistic market cap valuation. So
So yeah, if I can add, I mean,
yeah.
even and it is, I think it's a great day on the market side for the share today. But even there, I mean, I think there's a lot of room on top of that to really achieve that re-rate. So I think yeah, our priority one is really to make sure the market understand what we have on hand before going out and drill. I think there's just the recognition of what we have is really the priority here. So.
Yeah, man, and we see the nice rise of the share price today, but for me, it's only the beginning of the re-rating toward a more realistic evaluation.
So here is just the full format. I think what we wanted to talk about on that slide is the new supporting shareholder that will come. Electric Element is the largest shareholder of OV, and Cisco Development being the largest shareholder of Electric Element. So that's the are linked to the Cisco group, so that those large shareholders will stay with the company and support our future development. And we'll have the continuous support of the Quebec funds as well, having support on both sides of Sirios and OV as well. So I think we have great support going into next step of the company. So as the last slide, I think we wanted to talk about the next step. So I mentioned it a few times already. I think drilling around Cheechoo is really one of the priority as well. We need to right size that drill campaign and starting with that model target I mentioned earlier. There's also more than that. So there's some targets just north of the pit as well. Again, so really not talking even yet to other pits or other deposit on the property, just really close to what we have and work around that to make the project better. And so that needs to be yeah, as I said, right size before jumping into it. And then following that drilling campaign, we see a new resource leading to the PEA. So depending on the size of the campaign, that will drive the timeline to go to the PEA. But that's really what we see in terms of next step of development, drilling new resource PEA. And on top of that, we know we had a campaign ready at OV for Corvette Est. Now we need to review that drilling campaign in the context of the combination of the companies and see what we do. And we have even more optionality with work of compilation and prioritization work that have been started at Plex. And having Dominique understanding and experience and exploration in James Bay, having the opportunity now to have him work on the vision that we have for the exploration assets will be, I think, to do before jumping in the field. But we have a good plan to go forward with that. So.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be ready to take questions.
Yeah, English, French, no problem. But I don't speak any other language, unfortunately.
So far, just one question from the group. How much cash will the company have on hand after the combination of the companies?
I don't have the exact number, but roughly around 2 million. So the two companies were running really low G&A. So it still covered around a year of G&A at the point we are right now. So we have time to as I said, review and making sure that we right size the next steps and everything else. So there's no rush to go to the market right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Une question en français. Au niveau du programme de forage, combien en aurez-vous besoin pour la prochaine saison? Et avez-vous le cash nécessaire?
Ça dépend de l'objectif, mais
Yes.
Jean-Felix, dans sa vérification diligente, il regardait les chiffres un peu plus en détail.
Pour la prochaine saison, ben, c'est sûr que ça dépend de qu'est-ce qu'on veut inclure ou pas. Ce qui était recommandé là, dans le 4301 pour aller chercher la zone modélisée, en fait, c'était une campagne de 20 000 mètres qui était proposée là, dans le 4301. S'ajoute à ça les autres targets. Il faut faire un peu le ménage puis trouver la bonne grosseur pour aller aussi avec un financement. C'est sûr, comme n'importe quelle compagnie d'exploration puis de de développement, en fait, va falloir financer. Mais je pense que c'est le marché aussi qui va nous dire c'est quoi la bonne dimension de financement à aller chercher. Fait que c'est un peu un jeu de stratégie, en fait, avec ce qu'on a besoin. Mais le dépôt est déjà en bonne position pour aller dans les prochaines étapes. Fait qu'il n'y a pas un nombre X de mètres là, exact à accomplir pour aller au PE.
Puis il y a un peu de, je dirais, de variabilité justement dans la taille du programme de forage qu'on peut faire. Et évidemment, c'est moulé sous l'objectif, soit de convertir de l'inféré en indiqué ou encore strictement aller chercher, grossir des onces dans le dépôt. Donc, c'est un mélange de tout ça. On est chanceux parce qu'avec le type de dépôt qu'on a, on n'a pas à courir à 5 6 endroits sur soit des zones déconnectées ou des pits déconnectés. On travaille toujours autour du pit ou de la fosse principale. Ça, c'est un des avantages du projet.
Right. And something I will add in English just to make sure
Yeah.
everyone understand. But on top of that, and I think it's we didn't touch the cost of drilling around Cheechoo, but the work that have been done on the road access will
Mhm.
really help us when we get to the larger drill campaign to really reduce the cost of those campaigns. So there's a game as well to see how many drills we can have at the same time on the deposit to drive down the cost. So that's all part of the right size and strategy of drilling around Cheechoo. But I think we're in really good positions to do significant amount of meters for a decent cost.
Sous-question, combien d'onces avant de lancer le PEA? Dans tous les cas, est-ce que ça serait après la prochaine saison?
Euh, En fait, il n'y a pas de nombre fixe d'onces.
Mm.
C'est une très bonne question, en fait, mais je pense qu'on veut se donner les chances de grossir. Fait que je pense qu'on parle d'une saison de forage ou une campagne. Est-ce que cette campagne-là va être sur une saison ou 2 saisons? Mais on dirait une campagne de forage, puis après ça, cette campagne-là, on parle de la nouvelle ressource et du PEA. Mais il n'y a pas de nombre fixe d'onces à aller chercher. Comme j'ai déjà dit, on est déjà en bonne position avec la dimension actuelle. Je pense qu'on veut se donner toutes les chances de le faire le mieux possible en ajoutant, mais c'est pas 500 000 ou 1 million ou 1,5 million de plus. Il n'y a pas de chiffre exact, mais on veut un petit peu plus gros que ce qu'on a là, plus gros que ce qu'on a en ce moment.
Maybe you could repeat the question and answer in English.
Sure. So the question is how many ounces we need to add to go to the PEA. It's a great question. So there's no fixed amount of ounces. I think we want to give all the chance that we have to make a larger project before going to the PEA. So we're talking about one campaign. Is it a campaign for 1 or 2 seasons? But it's one campaign, then resource and PEA. So as I said, so is it 500, a million, 1,500,000 on top of what we have? We don't have a specific target of ounces, but we want to add more before the PEA.
Does this transaction improve the prospect of an agreement with Fury Gold?
It's a good question. I think, I mean, everyone that has followed Sirios know that the deposit is quite close to the claim boundary. We really understand that opportunity. If we remove that boundary, what will be the impact? But I mean, transaction, you don't control everything. But there's many things we can do that we can control, and those drilling campaign and PEA, and so we can bring value with things we control. So I think that's the priority. So and even before doing the drilling, as I said, our priority one is to make sure the market recognize our value right now. So before talking about another transaction, but with that said, we really understand the situation on the borders.
I may add to this, I totally agree with what you said, and we need to focus on what we control, but also the size of the deposit stand now, and especially if we do an additional drilling program, we are reaching quite obviously a critical mass of the deposit that is proving that we can imagine a standalone mining operation with or without an agreement across the border. So that's a step that we are actually reaching.
Sure.
Are there any plans for a share consolidation or rollback?
I mean,
No.
not at this point. I mean, it's not. I mean, I know it's a question that many has with like 500 million shares. I think share rollback and number of share are really a question of perspective or perceptions. It's important though, so we'll listen shareholder on that. And again, I think the market will tell us what needs to be done. It can be evaluated at one point, but there's no plan to that, or there's no number to announce today. So
What I can say about that is that everything we're doing, we always act in the goal to at least preserve and increase the market cap of the company. So the market cap of the company is the number of share by the price of the share. So in any decision we'll do always to protect and increase the market cap, the market value of the deposit of the company.
Is there also plans for drilling on Corvette Est and Plex?
yeah, Plex we're working on understanding. I mean, it's those two properties have been dormant for like more than 10 years, so there was some work to do. We focused the start of OV on Corvette Est, so we have a drill campaign ready now. It was around 3,000 meters, 3,500 meters. So it's a ready campaign. Are we doing it as it is? I don't think so. It needs to be reviewed. And Plex, same. There's a little bit work to do to prioritize what we need, but we know there's drilling target ready to go there as well. We need, as I said, right size Cheechoo first, and then Cheechoo will tell us what's left on the other one, and we will leave the project Corvette, Plex, and the other one in the portfolio compete for the remaining of what's on the table. So we really want to make sure Cheechoo have everything needs, and then assign some of it to the other properties.
Yeah, it's good to highlight that Cheechoo is still the flagship of the company, and those other projects very great potential for expanding the gold zone already known and discovering other zone. That's a mid long-term achievement that will by successor Cheechoo will imagine our vision is Cheechoo will be the first mine we want to develop and the other one will follow.
Exactly. So I think that's a good point you're touching there. I think it's Cheechoo can really become an anchor project for James Bay. So even the other one can be a little bit far. I think high grade, and we know there is high grade on the other properties can be truck at those distance with today's gold price. I think we need to reimagine and yeah, James Bay is maybe far from Montreal or Toronto, but the infrastructure are there. So if you want to truck around James Bay, it's possible. So we'll need to keep that in mind as well with the development of the other properties.
You know, if we get the size we want at Cheechoo, I can say, you know, Cheechoo is close to Cheechoo.
Une question, quelle est la durée de la vie de la mine projetée?
Il n'y a pas de réponse à ça. Il faut vraiment faire le travail du PA, puis c'est le PA qui va nous dicter.
Ben, c'est sûr qu'on travaille toujours sur minimum 10 ans. Puis là, après ça, quelle est la suite? Ben, c'est la réponse de nos programmes de forage. Puis quand on va sortir le PA, ça va déjà donner des ordres de grandeur. Mais quand même, c'est le genre de projet que c'est pas une petite minette, là, comme on dit, une mine miniature. Ça va être une mine de certain calibre.
Il y a un certain travail d'ingénierie à faire aussi pour bien comprendre c'est quoi les phases de développement de la faune. Je pense qu'il y a un bon travail de ressources qui a été fait, mais il n'y a pas beaucoup d'ingénierie qui a été travaillée sur le dépôt de Cheechoo. Fait qu'il y a quand même, avant même qu'on lance un PA, c'est sûr qu'on va commencer à travailler dans le background pour mieux comprendre c'est quoi les différentes caractéristiques. Est-ce qu'il y a, il y a un secteur qu'on peut prioriser dans la séquence, etc. Fait qu'avant même d'arriver à un PEA, on peut commencer à travailler certains paramètres, en fait, là, pour mieux comprendre justement quel genre de tonnage, quel genre de vie de mine on pourrait avoir. Puis dans le contexte d'aujourd'hui aussi, quand on arrive en études techniques, faut balancer aussi les investissements en capitaux. Fait que c'est toujours comment c'est beau des gros tonnages, mais les gros tonnages, c'est plus de capital. Fait qu'il faut trouver l'équilibre finalement entre les durées de vie de mine, les
ça.
investissements initiaux, puis les niveaux de production.
Can you summarize in English?
Sure. So the question is, how many? What's the life of mine for a projected project? So we're not there yet. So there was a good work to do with the resource, but not much engineering done at Cheechoo. So there's things we can start in the background to better understand the deposit, to see if there are a starter pit or stuff like that. And in today's world, we need to wait the level of production, life of mine, and also initial capex. So that work will be done towards the PEA and inside the PEA. But it's something we'll start doing some. I'm an engineer, I said, so I'll start to do engineering in the background. So.
Question is, what will be the role of Cisco in the new company?
So yeah, talking Cisco development, so we'll be one of the shareholder and we'll be supporting the company. And I mean the Cisco group, I think it's all different companies that work together in some ways and helping each other. So I think that's the way we should see this. OV was part of that Cisco related companies. So and I think Sirios is becoming one today with the announce. So we can imagine other companies and other people from those companies helping each other moving the project. So.
Will the combined company be the largest property holder in the region?
No, no. Quite easy to answer no to this. However, important things in any kind of business, there's always quantity and quality. So you may have the largest number of mining title in a specific area, but what about the quality? What I can say for sure, after the transaction being closed, Sirios will own the best portfolio of gold exploration and potential mining development property in EUHC. I can confirm that, and I'm pretty confident about that statement.
Yeah, in real estate, you need to be at the right place before having a big lot. So it's same with exploration. So I think we are at the right place. Do we have the more actors in the area? No, but it's all good. I don't really care about actors. But as Dominique said, I think we're at the right place to find other gold deposits.
Can you summarize what OV brings in terms of the transaction to Sirios and why it should be beneficial to Sirios shareholders?
For me, it's quite obvious. Two things. First, we always talk about asset, about technical things and tonnage and rocks and all that stuff. But the most important resources in any type of company is the human resources. And now there are very strong people joining the team with us at Sirios, talking about Jean-Felix, talking about Shareholder and Laurence Farmer. It's really important because with them now, Sirius have all the capacity, the ability to be connected to the financial mining world. So, and that was probably the missing piece that we didn't have in the past. So we already discovered a very good deposit, gold deposit, with very favorable technical specificity. Now we have the team with us to develop that project on a fast track way toward, the studies and the mining development road toward a mine production. So, and secondly, the portfolio of the gold property that we are gaining a full ownership. It's, I've been involved more than 30 years exploring James Bay beside Henri Gaumont, who was exploring with Virginia Gold. So I know about these property. That's why I can say these are the best gold exploration asset in EUG James Bay. So there's a gain of people, reinforce the team, financially speaking, specifically, and also the really favorable and fantastic gold property asset that we are gaining. So, and same thing on OVI, you can talk about what OVI is gaining on its side.
I mean, it's for me, as Dominique said, I think the combination of teams, it's a really a great fit, and I think having Dominique view and experience in James Bay, looking over the OV's properties, I think that's really a big gain there, and I think bringing her more project development operation side to Cheechoo. So I think it's just a great fit on two companies sitting together, that it's better together than separate.
You know, people always said about the agreement, oh, win-wins. They talk win-win, but more we see currently win-lose agreement. But in that case, that's a real win-win agreement. Pretty sure about that.
What would be the cash position of the combined company, and do you plan to do any financing in the near term?
Yeah, I think we answered that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's only French or English, but anyways,
Yeah.
I'll answer again.
Yeah.
So the cash position will be, I don't have the exact number, but let's say around 2 million. And with the actual run rate of the two company together, it's a roughly one year of G&A. It will give us time to as I said, right size the drilling campaign and time the next steps. And yeah, for sure. I mean, as every exploration company will need to raise money, how much it will be, that's not defined yet. So.
And I can add to this, you know, question of timing of financing. As of today, in the next few days and weeks, in the next few months, short time, we are to focus and concentrate to spreading the information regarding Cheechoo, regarding Sirios and the new portfolio and the new team. That we should concentrate on this before thinking of raising money, because we are quite convinced that this will create the re-rating of the company on the market, ready for financing.
Yeah, priority is re-rating, not raising money.
Yeah.
Avez-vous l'intention de grossir à court terme l'équipe d'ingénierie chez vous?
I mean, to lead to a PEA, we don't need to bring too many people internally. So I mean, at one point, sure, we'll start growing the team. But again, that needs to be done at the right timing. And to be honest, for a PEA, there's not so many internal that you need to add, but we'll evaluate that along the ways.
Yeah, short term, when initiating the next significant drilling program, we'll need more geologists, can be using contractor or increasing the in-house team. We'll see. But I can maybe highlight that for many years, Sirios was concentrating of controlling the geological knowledge of the area, of the deposit, but also the area. For us, it's really important. It's good. We're working also with consultant, geologists, contracting geologists, that's okay. But we take care of controlling the knowledge, and the information is really important. It's cost. It's high cost to drill, high cost to do exploration. So the information which is gained by this type of work is a great value. It's an important for us to keep it in-house.
So this question is specifically for you, Dominique. Why this deal and why now?
I think we may have some, I may have answered to that question through the different other answer. However, why now? So I think we already talked about the win-win situation. I mean, the team, the people joining us, okay, is probably solving, let's say, a weakness that we may have in the past regarding the connection to the financial institution or financial network worldwide. So this will be solved with the powerful new member of the team. And why now? It's important to do this at this time, because with the discovery we have done with Cheechoo, Cheechoo reached now level of around 3 million ounces of gold, and it's still with potential of increase again. So now we are reaching a step that we need to do more significant drilling program that we did in the past. We want to reach fast track development. We need bigger drilling program, which means we need access more significant and serious investment. So that's why it's fit exactly. The timing was the time to do it. And the timing and the creation at OV is a really good, not a coincidence, but the timing is very perfect for the both entities. And we are developing the best company. What we are starting doing the merger with OV is the second new life of Sirios, which will develop Cheechoo and the other project successfully on a fast track.
The press release mentions that the company will be rebranded with a new name. Why would that be?
That's linked with the answer I've just told. I mean, we are thinking about doing a rebranding. It's a question that it's to highlight the beginning of the second life of that company. So that's why that's essentially the intent behind this, and we're still discussing about and
Yeah, it's something we will evaluate together. So I think it's Sirios is known at this point. So and there's no rush to do it, but something to keep in mind. I mean, with the new beginning, the PE coming in and everything else. So we'll evaluate that option down the road. So.
yes. And you may even have a name which is not so nice, not so good, but make it a success on the market. Everybody will like the name. That's my first priority.
Yeah.
It seems to be all the questions we have here. Is there anything else you wanted to follow up with, and maybe mention that the presentation will be on the website?
Yeah, sure. So thanks everyone for participating to this today. Really happy to be here. We'll make the presentation available on the website, or both websites, and happy to connect with all of you in the near future.
Also, I want to take the opportunity to thank everybody that were involved in that process. It takes many months working with the two different firms of lawyers and also consultant, and the team of Jean-Felix and ODV with Sean and Laurence. And also the refined substance with work with us for communication needs. And I want to thank all these people. And also, I didn't do it during the shareholder meeting, but I want to give a great thanks to the geological team of Sirios and Eliane, our accountant, and Frédéric, CFO, and also a special thanks to Guillaume, my son, by coincidence, Guillaume Doucet, which was involved strongly in the company and was, let's say, an important actor in the recent successful development of the company during at least the last 2 years. So thank you everybody for listening. I'm really pleased to have done that talk with you this afternoon.
Thank you.